Hello and welcome. I am Amanda Farmer and I am coming to you live this Friday afternoon from Hawaii. Yes, I am here. I am on retreat in Kona on Hawaii on the Big Island. And I have been here since last Saturday, and we are on day 4 of the Reach Retreat 2022, hosted by Her Business. I am here with a fabulous group of 24 women business owners. You may be able to hear them laughing in the background. It's cocktail hour here on our Thursday evening. It is your Friday afternoon. It is our Thursday evening. And I have Mai Tai. I have a Mai Tai here with me. There have been a few Mai Tais this week here in Hawaii. We have been working hard during the day. We have taken some time to reflect on where we're at in our businesses, how we got here, what things we may need to focus on, what things we may need to change as we move forward into our bright business futures. So that has been so much fun. There are women here from all different businesses. So we have a couple of lawyers here, we have psychologists, we have speakers, we have coaches, we have web designers, so many fantastic businesses represented here at the Reach Retreat. And after cocktail hour, we are going to be sitting down and enjoying dinner at this beautiful table that has been set for us here. We've had some fabulous dinners by the water in lovely surroundings here in Hawaii. Today, unusually, it's been a bit rainy, so we have moved inside today for our dinner. But if you are coming on in, if you're coming on in to this live session, it is a Friday. It is an Ask Amanda Now session. So our short, often 10-minute session where I can answer one Strata question for you. Yes, I am on retreat in Hawaii, but I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of all of you. I'm thinking about Strata. I'm thinking about the future of Strata and the future of your Strata property and what it is that I can bring you, that I can continue to bring you to make sure that we are always improving your knowledge, your understanding of Strata living to ensure that you can live as peacefully and as profitably in Strata as possible. If you're coming on in live, feel free to give me a hello. If you're there, if you're catching the replay, feel free to drop me a hi as well. I'm just on my phone, so I'm just going to punch the buttons here and see what might happen. Michelle is saying hi. Greetings from a sunny but very windy Orange. Lovely to see you here live, Michelle. Megan is here saying aloha. Aloha indeed. We've been saying a lot of that this week. Thank you for joining me, Megan. Now, let's head on over into our question for today's Ask Amanda Now. This question comes from Jan. I know Jan, big supporter, big fan. I'm so pleased that I'm able to address this question for you today, Jan. I have summarized it a little bit. If anybody would like to see Jan's full question, it should be below the post that is further down this page here on the Your Strata Property Facebook page. I've summarized it this way. Jan is asking about Section 104 of the Strata Schemes Management Act in New South Wales, and she's asking about Section 104 costs. I'm going to tell you what those are in just a minute. And specifically, she's asking about a motion that her Strata committee has proposed for the agenda of a committee meeting, a motion about Section 104 costs. So I'm going to demystify that section for you in just a bit and hopefully answer Jan's question in the process. I'm also seeing Francis, who is coming on in saying, hi, Amanda, I'm your biggest fan. Thank you, Francis. That is very kind of you to say. It's really good to see you here live, Francis, and thank you for supporting me with everything that you know you do. Alrighty, so Jan's question about Section 104. If you're not familiar with this section, Rochelle and Christina, who are helping me out here today, do have a link for you. We're going to post it here in the comments so you can go and check it out. This is a section in our Strata legislation that says where an owner is successful in tribunal proceedings involving their owner's corporation, the owner does not have to contribute to any of the owner's corporation's legal costs. So where an owner's corporation has engaged a lawyer to represent them in tribunal proceedings, and the owner has actually been successful, they've won those tribunal proceedings against their owner's corporation, then the policy is that that successful owner should not have to contribute to the costs that the owner's corporation has been put to in engaging a lawyer to act on its behalf. Makes sense. And it's great that we have this section in the Act to protect our successful owners. But indeed, it begs the question, how does this all work? How does this all work in practice when you have an owner who's been successful in proceedings and perhaps there have already been levies, perhaps there's already been special levies that have been raised to pay the owner's corporation's lawyers? How do we reconcile that with this section of our legislation that says this successful owner should not be contributing to any of those legal fees? Now, what happens in practice is that the owner's corporation will generally total up the total legal costs that it has spent in defending these tribunal proceedings that may have been brought by an owner, and they'll come up with a figure. Maybe they've spent $10,000 on lawyers, maybe they've spent $20,000 on lawyers. And what they will do is go to a general meeting, this must be done at a general meeting, and put forward a motion to raise a special levy, to raise exactly that sum from owners, and that special levy must exclude the successful lot owner. So in that way, the owner's corporation is complying with its Section 104 obligation to only levy the other owners, not including the successful owner, only levy the other owners for the total legal costs that it has expended in the tribunal proceedings. And yes, it's happening after the fact. It's happening after they've already spent the money. But that's just how it has to go, because we don't know whether the owner is going to be successful in the tribunal proceedings or not. So it sounds from Jan's question like that's what's happening in her community, which is great. Her owner's corporation is complying with Section 104. But the specific question Jan has posed is that the motion doesn't state the amount. It doesn't have the amount of money listed in the motion that the owner's corporation is proposing to raise in order to recover these sums, to reimburse its legal costs and exclude the successful owner. And I agree with you, Jan. That's a little bit of a concern. If there is not a figure in that motion, you do need to know how much the owner's corporation is recovering by way of that levy. And you will be able to work out what that sum should be by looking at the invoices from the lawyer that have been sent by the lawyer to the owner's corporation. And it sounds like perhaps that's what you've done. I know you're a clever cookie. You've worked out what that figure should be, and you've actually drafted the motion and you put it to your Strata committee to include on the general meeting. That's all great. At the end of the day, however, it is up to the owner's corporation to put that motion forward and to confirm what the figure should be for that levy. And if your owner's corporation comes up with a different figure, if you don't agree that that figure is correct in the motion, then absolutely you should be asking questions about that. You should be asking your owner's corporation, your Strata committee, perhaps via your Strata manager, to explain to you what the figure is and how the owner's corporation arrived at that figure. So what invoices are they relying on? How did they come up with their total figure? And as an owner, you are entitled to see those figures. If not the invoices themselves, then the ledger that shows the total legal costs that have been expended. The way it usually works in proceedings that I've been involved in is that the lawyers on either side work out what this figure should be, and we make sure that each party, the owner's corporation and the owner on both sides, is comfortable that that figure is correct before the motion is put forward on the agenda, so that there's no dispute down the track that the levy should have been in a different amount. So I'm interested that your community is proposing this motion without a figure in it, or you're not quite sure what that figure is. I do suggest that that gets resolved before the motion goes on the agenda to be able to prevent any further dispute. Congratulations to Jan for being successful in those tribunal proceedings, and good on you for being on top of your Section 104 rights. Now, if anyone has any questions about that process, any more detailed questions about how Section 104 works, please do feel free to post here under the chat. I am heading back to the Her Business Reach Retreat 2022, heading back to cocktail hour. I'm just going to have a little sip of this Mai Tai, because I'm getting thirsty, and head over to this gorgeous, excuse me, gorgeous group of women who are standing behind me here, about to enjoy our Thursday evening dinner. Thank you for joining me for Ask Amanda Now here in beautiful Hawaii, what you can see of it on a Thursday evening. And perhaps I'll catch you next week from a different island in this gorgeous part of the world. I'd love to see you next Friday here on live. Thanks for joining me. Catch you all next time.